Hey, it's John McCabe. Welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And I do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, in as little as 100 days, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. I have an amazing guest lined up for today's coaching show. She's an international executive coach, consultant, mentor, facilitator, and a #1 best-selling author. Izabela Lundberg earned a Master of Science in Leadership and Organization from the University of Denver with a focus on strategic innovation and change and organizational development and training. Her undergraduate degrees are in business and global business management and education. Izabela's clients include SMEs, small to Fortune 500 companies, and she is recognized as a top transformational and high-impact leader in global business. She generates tremendous value and delivers exceptional results for her diverse clients and audience. Izabela's mission as the world messenger is to create 1 million legacy leaders in her lifetime. Her impact starts with individuals in the most traumatic circumstances and extends to leaders all around the world. As a genocide, torture, war trauma, and cancer survivor, Izabela truly understands what is needed to transform life from fear to greatness. She is known as the girl that helped us to restore our dreams in the global circles of survivors. Izabela has lived in 6 countries, speaks 6 languages, traveled to over 40 countries, worked with leaders and diverse teams from more than 80 countries, and enjoys a dynamic worldview. She is also internationally respected as a catalyst of change and sustainable solutions. Izabela is a passionate artist, humanitarian, and philanthropist, working closely with numerous nonprofit organizations to inspire, educate, and engage youth around the world. Izabela is focusing on helping clients achieve their most urgent business goals by focusing on their people. She is enabling companies to get the most business value from their people, in addition to their process and technology. Izabela's book, The World Messenger, is highly respected by academics, athletes, and business leaders around the world. So be sure to stick around, because when I come back after this short video, we're going to be joined by today's guest, Izabela Lundberg. And thanks for joining us. Today I'm joined by my guest, Izabela Lundberg. And Izabela prides herself on being a passionate advocate of lifelong learning and thought leadership, as she enthusiastically serves as a transformational leader by delivering global business consulting, talent, leadership, and organizational development by utilizing adult education framework supported by in-person and cutting-edge online learning programs and tools. Through her high-performance impact leadership program and delivery, she has increased employee engagement and performance impact in dozens of select companies by helping them develop global leaders. Izabela enjoys aligning and supporting business growth objectives by working side by side with executive leaders of Fortune 500 and mid-sized companies. For more than a decade, she has demonstrated a unique ability to identify complex business challenges and develop needs with the best solutions that can be used for years to come. Today, she helps individuals and teams come together to accomplish more than ever before. She is driven by results, and that's exactly what she can help you achieve as well. So please give it up with likes, love, shares, and a virtual flurry of thumbs up and heart icons across the screen for my guest today, Izabela Lundberg. Welcome, Izabela.
Thank you so much, John. Great.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing excellent. And you're in Colorado?
Yes, I'm in Denver, Colorado.
And is it snowing there? You guys still have snow?
We do up in the mountains, but in town it's beautiful, sunny, and actually nice weather with a little bit of wind.
Okay. Unfortunately, in Edmonton, Canada, we're not so fortunate. We still have snow, and it's still cold out. So, unfortunately, we're not blessed by nice weather in the winter time. So I don't know, Izabela, I don't know if you've watched the show or not, but first thing we'd like to do before we get too far into the show is a speed round of questions. Now, don't worry, it's nothing that you've had to study or you didn't. There's not going to be a test. There's no right or wrong answer. What I like to do is we'd like to get to know a little bit more about the guests, both on a personal and professional level. And as always, I'd like the people watching the show to type in your answers and play along with Izabela and see how your answers compare to hers. So are you all set, Izabela?
Yes, I am.
All right, great. We'll run through 10 questions quite quickly here. So name the book that impacted your life the most.
Oh my goodness. Most recently will be The Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Okay. And when you were a young girl, who was your celebrity crush?
Wow. Paul Newman was an early age, and then later on, Richard Gere.
Awesome. So what is a book or podcast or show that you're into right now?
I'm still hooked on the show White Collar.
Perfect. And are you currently working with any coaches? And if so, what fields?
Yes, I'm involved in numerous mastermind groups and also working with the mentors and specifically around the fields, all around the leadership and also executive coaching specifically.
Okay. And what's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh my goodness. Favorite Star Wars.
And I think you just mentioned this, but are you currently involved in any masterminds? I think you said you were.
Yes, I am. I'm leading one. I'm also participating in one, and I'm also seeking specific results that I'm looking for. So in 3 different mastermind groups.
Excellent. So name a person, either dead or alive, who you'd most like to meet and have dinner with.
I know it's going to happen. He's still alive. Your fellow Canadian, Kenyon Reeves.
Oh, awesome. So what's your favorite type of vacation? Is it a beach vacation or adventure tour?
I love adventure on the beach.
And what's the best business advice you ever received?
Knowledge is the power that nobody ever can take away from you.
Excellent. Now the last question is 2 parts. And so what is your favorite? Not what you consume on a regular basis, but out of these items, which is your favorite? If you're going to treat yourself, this is what you're going to treat yourself to. So the first half is water, beer, or wine. The second half is pizza, wings, or salad.
Believe it or not, I'm boring water and salad, actually.
So that's what you treat yourself with? That's your big treat?
Occasionally wine. Okay.
Okay. Excellent. So everyone give Izabela some love by hitting that like button, love button, and make sure that you share this with your Facebook feed and all the business pages that you belong to. So just going to do a quick peek, Izabela, see who's joining us today. So we have Heidi Roberts all the way from UK joining us. Welcome, Heidi. Hector's joining us as well. And Hector says a powerful presentation. And Mark Weisenberger is joined us from Utah. Welcome, Mark. And so for those of you who are just joining us or maybe missed the intro, I'm speaking with Izabela Lundberg. Izabela is an international executive coach, consultant, mentor, facilitator, and speaker whose clients include SMEs, small to Fortune 500 companies, and she's recognized as a top transformational and high-impact leader in global business. She generates tremendous value and delivers exceptional results for her diverse clients and audience. Izabela is focusing on helping clients achieve their most urgent business goals by focusing on their people. She's enabling companies to get the most business value from their people in addition to their processes and technology. She's an international #1 best-selling author, and Izabela's book, The World Messenger, is highly respected by academics, athletes, and business leaders around the world. So if you haven't done so already, please like, love, share this video on your Facebook feed and any Facebook pages or groups that you belong to. So Izabela, can you give the viewers who may not know your origin story or who you are, a little bit more about you and how you get into business coaching?
Absolutely. Obviously, you mentioned in my bio, I published #1 international best-selling book, but before that occurred, I actually lived in 5 different countries before immigrating to US, and US is my 6th country that I lived in. English is my 6th language that I'm speaking, and over period of time, I was able, over 15 years, to work very close with people from over 80 countries and learn firsthand the value of diversity and value of world through the history of beautiful people, their cultures, languages, and then really how we all interconnect. In addition to that, they gave me opportunity to really look at how today global economy is impacting us, even though we might think we're a local small business, but because of the technology and huge transformation that we're experiencing on a daily basis, either we're a part of it or not, it's happening. I started definitely to recognize that I'm not only just being consultant and advisor, but over time being also as well coach. And coaching, obviously, it's been part of my field for the last about 15 some years. And of course, allowing me not only to solve the most complex issues, as you mentioned earlier, but really to figure it out where the most common issues are. And I've found my niche in leadership and executive coaching. In order to lead organizations, no matter how small or big, we need to really have a strong leadership acumen, be able to connect with people that we want to impact either in our own companies or by service and products that we want to offer elsewhere, right? So that kind of ties all back together.
Excellent. So when the idea for the book came about, The World Messenger, so can you tell us a little bit about how that sort of all transpired? And what the main message within the book and what an individual would learn or what lessons they would get from reading the book?
I love that you mentioned in The World Messenger, my international bestseller that gets called From Fear to Greatness, Business, Sports, and Life Lessons, and actually came through understanding how we live in such a complex times and how much speed is requiring for us to act, make our choices and decisions, and how often we're not really equipped to make the best choices and decisions with information that we have at hand. That's where coaching really came handy, as well the mentorship and overall strong leadership acumen. I was blessed to have a good role models early on in my life, and I realized after wanting to so desperately to be Olympian when I was a little girl growing up in former Yugoslavia, that very often we don't get usually our dreams to be fulfilled in a way how we envision them as a children. But we do get amazing power and drive what those dreams were giving us as a sense of passion and deep desire to make things happen that is of meaning and value. So this book came about in 2015 when I saw and had a great opportunity to interview some of the top executives from large global firms, as well as Olympians, professional coaches, and athletes. And through my journey over 6 continents, interviewing people from over 12 elite sports to over 10 different industries, I learned that a lot of times issues that we're seeing in business are very similar with issues that we're seeing in sports and vice versa. And there was a major opportunity of transforming how do we coach other athletes, or how do we coach our team leaders in order to be better performers. And as a result of that, that's how the book gets created.
Awesome. So were there after interviewing all of those amazing people, were there some commonalities when it comes to the fears that people have, whether it be as an athlete or a business owner or just in life in general? Was there some common themes around the fears? And were going from fear to greatness, were a lot of the strategies very similar, even over that the diverse cross-section of business, athletic world, and just the average everyday person?
Absolutely. That's an excellent point, John. What I found, beside a lot of commonalities and parallels, is that a lot of paradigms and models that worked, let's say, in 80s or 90s are not anymore applicable. and that a lot of successful leaders were repeating almost the same thing, and they were scratching their head and wondering what they need to possibly do different. Some of them just simply didn't know what they need to adjust, how they can really prepare for the changes and transformation that is occurring, and how can they be more innovative, transformative leaders themselves. So that's those gaps and discrepancies that came about, that a lot of professional athletes did not like the way coaches were coaching them. Similarly, also find some high-performing talent that were not happy with environments that they've been working in, because they were not giving them opportunity to really not only give a trial and error or quickly fail or adjust, because a lot of times things that they're being asked to do are not being done before, or they're not being done before in a way that new ways were demanding to be done. Yet everybody wanted to be certain that whatever they're going to implement or do, it's going to 100% work. And as we know, nothing is 100% unless we try it and tweak it and adjust it. And nobody knows more than entrepreneurs themselves how that game is played on a daily basis. As a result, we fear. We face these fears constantly. Am I going to succeed? Am I going to fail? And I'm going to completely let my people down? Am I going to lose my credibility? How should I position? What do I broadcast? What do I put in public? What do I keep in private? I mean, it's just so many pieces that for a lot of executives, it's really being very difficult to really adjust to.
Now, how big of a part does mindset play in overcoming these fears? And do you talk about some very specific strategies about adjusting your mindset from getting to that fear to greatness?
Absolutely, and book has 13 powerful lessons, and it really walks you through that in original state of when you were a child, when you were just full of the enthusiasm and positivity, and you didn't care if you fall and you just get up and move on. You know, you never thought about giving up on something you wanted to do, and then really rebuilding that back into whatever it's missing, lacking, or whatever we are creating at the current moment. The best part was to really, I could look at and meet each individual where they were today and recognize based on my work that I did for over a decade, to recognize what type of fears, first of all, are holding them back, where those fears are, and really working through them, acknowledging them in the ways that is suitable to them, and then finding this whole process that is applicable to each of these scenarios. But again, it's very common, and the greatness is ultimately everything when everybody wants to be able to lead with that authenticity and be able to provide the greatest service that they can possibly have, but then also to be the greatest leaders they can possibly be. And very interestingly, either I've dealt with executives, senior executives, or younger entrepreneurs. All of them wanted to do something that's going to have an impact and meaning, right? And it was interesting also ultimately boiled down even to, it was like that greatness to them meant is like kind of legacy I'm going to leave behind, how I'm going to be remembered. Am I going to be able to really make an impact and be known by something that really mattered? And it was interesting finding those threads and driving solutions based on those components.
Excellent. That sounds awesome. And you guys are just joining us. I'm speaking with Izabela Lundberg. Izabela is an international executive coach, consultant, mentor, facilitator, and speaker whose clients include SMEs, small to Fortune 500 companies. Now, she's recognized as a top transformational and high-impact leader in global business. She generates tremendous value and delivers exceptional results for her diverse clients and audience. Now, Izabela is focusing on helping clients achieve their most urgent business goals by focusing on their people. She is enabling companies to get the most business value from their people, in addition to their process and technology. She's a #1 international best-selling author, and Izabela's book, The World Messenger, is highly respected by academics, athletes, and business leaders around the world. So please be sure to like, love, share this video with all your friends on Facebook feed. Plus, if you have any questions or comments that you want me to ask Izabela, just type them in the comment field and we'll do our best to get to them during the show. And if we can't get to them during the show, just tag either Izabela or myself in the question and we'll be sure to answer it after the show is already done. Or if you're watching this on the replay, just make sure that you tag one of us and we'll do our best to quickly answer the question. So just going to do some shout outs. I see Nobby joined us, and Nobby says, hey, great show as usual. And Hector asked a question. I think this is a question. Wrong mindset, wrong education, commitment, or only acknowledgement? I'm not exactly 100% sure, Hector, if that's a question you want me to ask Izabela. So if you could phrase it in the term of a question, I'll be more than happy to ask it to her. But just be very clear on the exact question as we're rapidly going through things here, and we could be on a different question, and you're asking a question that is reference to one or two questions back. So Izabela, we all know there's a lot of different types of business coaching or niches that people can get into. So for myself, for example, I'm in the niche of helping people get attention so they can either grow their business, their exposure, their brand, their income. So what specifically is your niche, and can you tell us more about that niche and who you help and how you help them?
Absolutely, and you're so right. Today we hear coaching as well as leadership being used in so many different ways that almost dilutes the true value or power of what it is all about, right? But my niche is obviously around leadership, and specifically around leadership development and executive coaching. And as you mentioned earlier, I work closely with either small entrepreneurs or small companies or all the way to Fortune 500 companies, executives, because every single executive or leader of the company, however small or large, it's facing complex issues today. I had obviously a big, huge aha moment when I was navigating global corporate arena, nonprofit organizations and government entities here in the United States, and seeing a lot of gaps and ways how we kind of we are kind of interconnected and depending on one another, yet finding also a lot of obstacles and issues in order to play as effectively could. A lot of that is being contributed or attributed to lack of strong leadership presence and acumen in order to truly drive decisions and organizations based on needs that we're not only seeing today, but that we're also going to be seeing in the future. Not going to get any less complex, and which obviously allowed me to not only prove very quickly where the gaps are, but to really also look at how can I contribute what I know and what I acquired over the years in such a unique way, and how can I help to fill the gap. And that's how this transformational leadership executive coaching came to mind, because not only through my interviews, as I mentioned in my book, and not only through that mastermind sessions or our own focus on individual way, how can we accomplish these complex solutions? It is the constant we need to be lifelong learners. We have to constantly understand what is happening around us and in this world that is dictating so many changes, and what role we want to play. In order to play effectively, we need to position at least in something, right, to be experts or continue to nurture that expertise because that is also shifting and changing. So with that in mind, obviously I developed something that really provides holistic approach, which is 360 degrees and understanding individual as a whole human being and issues that they're dealing with that are creating cause and effect either through behavior or lack of specific traits and now driving specific results that they're desiring. And it's so go ahead.
I was just going to ask, it's not just specifically about business strategies. When you're working with, sounds like when you're working with your clients, you said you're taking a 360 degree approach. You're really finding out more about, what is transpiring in their entire life, whether it be from relationships, business, spiritual, activities. You're taking it all into account. Are you taking it all into account when you're developing strategies to help them become better leaders?
You have to, because in order to, you can't compartmentalize and just to say, I want to just look at and zoom in what's going on in your world when you are leading your team in your organization. That is obviously with the most visible impact that you're creating, but what you're not doing to do, for example, for yourself, to take care of yourself and not provide self-care or not be able to do other pieces that are fundamental for you to further develop as a leader, are going to hinder that, right? So it's very important to also understand how everything is interconnected and the cause and effect that I was mentioning earlier.
Excellent. So what are your thoughts on the coaching industry today, and what changes have you seen transpired in the last 15 years? You said you've been coaching for approximately 15 years. So what changes have you seen transpire, during that time frame with regards to the coaching industry? Sorry, did I lose? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. You were breaking over for a second.
Okay, I'll say the question again. So
Please.
what are your thoughts with regards to the coaching industry today, and what changes have you seen transpire over the past 15 years of you being in the industry?
I see a lot of coaches offering different types of coaching niches or different types of techniques. I see a lot of different institutions also offering different types of certifications, right? We have coaches from healthcare all the way to business and executive coaching. The point is to really understand and have strong business acumen. It's essential in order to be successful. That's why I feel like a combination and this three-pronged approach, not only consultative and advisory, but also executive coaching, really does bring homes to home a strong message about what is really important right now for individual and team, as well as organization, to accomplish. And sometimes that is not clear cut, and sometimes we don't have agreement and alignment between individuals and groups. Sometimes we don't have a culture that supports that rapid growth and need and transformation to inspire. So it is really flexibility to shift the gears and be able to assist in numerous different ways. And to be honest, John, I wear always multiple hats. It's not always just a cut in one piece, right, in one way. But the key is also that we have a mutual agreement. If I'm coaching specifically you and I know what exactly we are trying to accomplish together, what exactly you see, and then how quickly you think you want to obtain specific strength or skill set or specific outcome. Everything is driven based on outcome, right? And a lot of those outcomes have dependencies. So it is very important to know how these outcomes are also affecting others. Sometimes it's just a sense of knowing that how these decisions going to transform and change not only somebody's company, but also people that are part of it, people that we're working on a daily basis. So it is plethora of wide range of elements there. But as we've seen across countries and industries, we're really desiring all those forward-thinking companies that are fueling their pipeline of the next generation of executives who are really willing to position them for success and for further success of organization. As a result, sometimes we have to make those very challenging, difficult decisions, right?
Right.
And also we need to step up and make a very clear and known intentions behind it. And sometimes that is not really easy for a lot of people, because right now it's because of social media, because of the short cycle, how quickly something can get attraction, something can succeed or fail. People are paralyzed. We're conditioned to, as a children, to make mistakes. So it's very hard to look at somebody who is in their 50s or 60s to really recondition himself and say, I'm willing to try something that really scares me. I don't have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm trusting the process, because the only way something's going to change if I allow this change to transpire. And if that doesn't happen, things not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, there's two components that you said that I think are quite key. First, what you just talked about is the failure aspect, or people being conditioned to not wanting to fail. And I think in today's world, and because things are moving so fast, you really need to be comfortable and be willing to fail fast and then move forward. You really need to be able to not worry so much and not plan as much. Just implement something, figure out very quickly if it's going to succeed or fail. And if it fails, just move forward onto something else. Don't dwell on it. Don't spend a lot of time on it. The another component you talked about when you talked about the coaching industry is that you need to help your client get very clear on their desired outcome. Now, regardless of what type of coaching that you're doing, that is, one of the key elements of working with your client is helping them be crystal clear on what their desired outcome is. And not only so that you can help them with strategies to get there, but even from a marketing standpoint, from a position of positioning yourself as the authority or getting attention. If you're marketing your services, then you need to be clear on what your niche target market's ideal desired outcome is, so that you can help market to that message to help to attract more clients to get them into your funnel. So sorry, I just took that on a different tangent just from a marketing perspective, but it's I just drew the parallel, just a parallel line there from, working with a client and knowing or getting clear on what their desired outcome. That's exactly what you do from a marketing perspective when you're working with a client, whether it be coaching client or with a business. Is they need to be very clear on what their client's desired outcome is. So I just thought it was two key points there that were very, very relevant.
Very true, and then it could be applicable either, again, as I mentioned, or we're talking about smaller or larger company. And what I've found that a lot of those innovative companies can really move the needle much faster, and if they can keep up with these changes. And the ones that are not doing that, they are going not only to be absolute, but a lot of companies are now moving in different direction. They're losing their footing. They're losing their traction. They're not anymore positioned the way they were. They may have existence, longer than those newer, modern, innovative companies, but yet they were not able to sustain that. So it's catch kind of 22. And how do you go through those paradigm shifts that are very essential, that I'm seeing as a part of any business today, either is solo entrepreneur driven or is the large Fortune 500 company. Again, willingness to look at things from different perspectives is the key, and willingness to really have the right mindset, confidence, skill set in order to deliver those services and products and opportunities that are being promised, not only to the consumers, but also to their teams.
So true, so true. If you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Izabela Lundberg. Izabela is an international executive coach, consultant, mentor, facilitator, and speaker whose clients include SMEs, small to Fortune 500 companies, and she's recognized as a top transformational and high-impact leader in global business. She generates tremendous value and delivers exceptional results for her diverse clients and audience. Now, Izabela is focusing on helping clients achieve their most urgent business goals by focusing on their people. She's enabling companies to get the most business value from their people in addition to the process and technology. She's a #1 international best-selling author. Her book, The World Messenger, is highly respected by academics, athletes, and business leaders around the world. So please be sure to like, love, share this video with all your friends on your Facebook feed. Plus, type any questions that you want me to ask Izabela into the comment section, and I'll try to get to them during the show. And if we're not able to get to them during the show, just tag one of us and we'll connect with you after the show. And I just want to welcome Sandy to the show from the UK, and Nobby's sending you some kisses, Izabela. And Sandy says hi. So yeah, Nobby's not sending me kisses, trust me. So Izabela, from your experience in the coaching industry, what do you feel that some of the biggest challenges coaches face are, and how can they overcome those challenges? Oh, sorry, we must have cut out again, did I? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Izabela?
I'm sorry, it was just a little delay. No problem. In terms of, I heard the part that the biggest challenges right now the coaches are facing, right?
Yeah, the biggest challenges, and how would they overcome those challenges?
Sure. I mean, obviously, it is very important to build that strong trust. And because things are very much happening fast, people are very quickly moving into either decision-making or pushing through, and sometimes that very flight kind of quick overview can really determine how deep is. Usually they're either operating in a crisis, they want to eliminate issue and then move on. But I'm also finding the ones that are really progressive, proactive, used coaches in the past, or just simply understanding the true value behind it, they will spend and invest time not only to create and establish great relationship, but they will also frequently ask questions or validate their actions or process of their thinking and their actions. But obviously, it's a combination. You have people who will say, I will do everything it takes, and then they procrastinate. You have people who will say, I'm very clear what the next steps are, and when they're supposed to deliver a specific presentation or speech or conversation with the leadership executives, they will lack their proaction. They will not immediately be those action takers or will procrastinate with those decisions and find the reasons why something did not occur. Something that I also find quite a bit is distraction. Many clients are very distracted with what is really happening. So with many different prioritizations that is happening in their personal lives versus in their professional lives. And then also we were just recently dealing with a situation when it's something so dramatically going on within the company with the major changes and transformation. Of course, impacts everyone, and it's very hard to know which direction somebody should go. And lack of the direction that comes from leadership or that is constantly changing, it is really challenging for a lot of other leaders to really grasp where they should be spending most of their time and effort. And as a result, that really can dilute the value and issues in actual outcomes. But one that I've found that always boils back to it, no matter which part of the world I ended up having conversations with or who I'm dealing with, boils back down to communications. The style, the transparency, that the way people interact and intent behind those interactions. You can definitely very quickly know if somebody is genuinely trying to share something, specifically if it's not always favorable and if it's challenging due to various factors, right? Mm-hmm. Versus when somebody is just pushing orders down, top down, and wants to execute and totally does not take into consideration human factor. And those are the things that I found break the most, not only trust, relationships, teams, but also organizations, because that bleeds and penetrates further how clients are being perceiving organization. Are they considered really on top of their game? Are they truly the pros as they mean that they as they played the game that they are? So it's just really, really telling. And it's very important, again, to know who drives what, right? Mm-hmm. And then lastly, what I found really interesting is that level of commitment. If we're not committed, no matter how great opportunities are in front of us, right? Or no matter how great solutions we may have in our toolkit, but if it's no commitment there and no desire, no drive, it's not going to happen. So it is very important to understand and pre-screen very well who you're working with, to really understand what they're trying to also accomplish and help them to arrive there if they're not clear. And with that clarity in mind, create very comprehensive plan. And sometimes some things cannot be fixed just in 2 sessions. Sometimes they require a little bit more commitment and time. Sometimes they require a little bit of homework. Sometimes require a little bit of reading material. I mean, there's just so many different pieces, right? Because I always joke around, you cannot accomplish and deliver baby if you have a 9-woman pregnant for 1 month. Some things just simply take time. Right. And we need to really work on ourselves and allow that time to be really spent with highest priorities and in the right possible way.
So are you able to share with us, without obviously naming names, but share with us some of the challenges maybe some of your clients had and how you help them overcome those challenges, some real life examples?
Oh, absolutely. This is how all of us learn the best, right? Most recently had a situation with a major merger and acquisition happening for the client, and this very high productive, high performing team wanted to secure not only their position with this new organizational design and structure, but they really want to make sure that all of their clients are being set and taken care of no matter what happens, what transpires. And as a result, elevated a lot of questions, urgency, and I was able not only to provide individual one-on-one coaching, but also team coaching, and really create strong union between everybody involved moving forward with addressing all of those concerns in a way that they were not able to do that if I was not present there. But then also what was very interesting is finding the true drivers behind it, right? Mm-hmm. And as a result, not only they felt much stronger and more compelling to help one another with that strong team union, and being more in sense of that we're really clear what we're going to do moving forward. But their clients had a tremendous feedback, and actually communications that they received, they'd really were able to be recognized for value and impact they're already making, and how committed those clients are to them, which was really wonderful to see. The other scenario was when someone who was very senior executive wanted to move forward and with his career pathing. And as we know, we just had an end of the year and evaluations and recognitions and whatnot. How do we perform? And this very painful discovery that this gentleman who had such a tenure with the organization and amazing results was not considered for promotion. And was very interesting, and we learned through our work together what major factors were there and how he did not as actively play in the role with influencers and leadership team and decision making, and as a result obviously was not considered, even thought he was, and then how now he's positioning differently moving forward and had a specific outline and strategy, what he wants to see, and what type of conversation he needs to have and how he wants to bridge them. And then understanding better his team and his leaders, what type of personalities they are, how is the most effective way to communicate to them, and also figuring out the best ways to not only get what he wants, obviously from his own self-motivated reasons, but to truly look at, am I really the best way utilized here? Am I able to best way to serve organization and impact the way I can? And how can I diversify the scope of what I'm already offering and do things even better? So it is just so refreshing to see what can very quickly, over 3 to 6 months, transform on individual level as well in team and organizational level.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that everyone needs to be conscious of is what is their personality style, what is their work ethic style, what is, how do they perform, as well as, when you're in the corporate or the office environment, or even in the solopreneur environment, you need to be aware of other people's personality styles and really understand how to communicate with those different personality styles, and how those personality styles sort of communicate and act and go about their daily business. So understanding that and having a coach that can help you get clarity on a lot of those things so that you're acting and interacting in the appropriate way that's going to help you achieve your desired outcome is definitely an asset when it comes to moving forward, whether it in the solopreneur or the corporate world.
Very, very true.
If you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Izabela Lundberg. Izabela is an international executive coach, consultant, mentor, facilitator, and speaker whose clients include SMEs, small to Fortune 500 companies. She's recognized as a top transformational and high-impact leader in global business. She generates tremendous value and delivers exceptional results for her diverse clients and audience. Izabela's focus is focusing on helping clients achieve their most urgent business goals by focusing on their people. She's enabling companies to get the most business value from their people in addition to the processes and technology. She's a #1 international best-selling author. Her book, The World Messenger, is highly respected by academics, athletes, and business leaders around the world. So be sure to like, love, and share this video on your Facebook feed and with any Facebook groups you belong to. If you have any questions or comments, just type them in the Facebook comment, and we'll try to get to them during the show. So Izabela, when it comes to coaching, there are a variety of different styles. I know for myself, I don't consider myself a coach. I consider myself more an advisor and a consultant. I come in, advise people what to do within my scope of expertise, and or help them implement it. I don't coach them on, in the sense of the type of coaching you do. I'm more of an advisor, strategist, and implementer. So can you explain what your coaching style is like, and how do you work with your private clients?
This is a really, really good question, because over the years, I not only that I fine-tuned and slightly changed my style, but I also, based on feedback, acumen through the business that I acquired, as well as understanding the gaps and needs, recognize that it's important to have a flexibility and shift to a certain extent based on what our clients may need. I usually start with assessment, and as I earlier mentioned, everything I do, it's very holistic, 360 degree in terms of creating a specific baseline and gathering specific data where I really can look at somebody's strengths, but also opportunities and where the possible gaps are, right, and how these gaps can be best way addressed. But everything really starts from that very first initial step. A lot of times people ask me, Izabela, would you consider having conversation? And a lot of times they also demand and expect confidentiality. A lot of times, if they're in a larger companies, they don't want their employer to know about that. They usually are very much so wanted to drive the coaching aspects on their own. As a result, not only they required confidentiality and flexibility, but they also wanted to really typically solve something very specific. And it's very good when they have that level of clarity, but when they don't, it's also very important through assessment, and I call it intake, coaching intake, to really understand, is a coaching truly the best instrument for them? Mm-hmm. And what perceptions might be. And you might be surprised, and sometimes it is a combination of multiple things. But as you mentioned, from consulting, advisory, or it's a sole coaching, right? And then how this particular coaching sessions or coaching needs will be addressed, and how many sessions will be needed. What exactly is on the plane as a step to be done? What type of alignment is required? Are we also dealing with multiple different issues and complexities that are created within an organization? A lot of times I also have a client where actually the leaders of organizations are requiring specific coaching sessions to be done for their specific employees, and understanding what they expect also, and how all these pieces fit together, and creating the partnership now between three different entities can also be very complex, right? And then also if you go and dabble more into groups. But with that, all of that in mind, key is to really also figure out how to measure outputs, how to measure really results. Because ultimately, all of us will feel great about ourselves knowing that whatever we said we we're going to be able to do and drive, if we agree upon to take on that particular responsibility or that particular client or objective, right? Mm-hmm. Can we really drive results, and what kind of results we can drive, and how we can measure those results, and how these results going to input that individual, impact, and how they're going to impact overall team and organization. And it's very interesting because, go ahead.
No, continue on.
It's very interesting because we are people, we're emotional, we're dealing with constant behavioral shifts and change, right? We're also maturing, and some of the patterns are already set, and our behaviors are most likely very slightly going to ever change. And I'm seeing different assessments and different instruments like DISC assessment that is very popular. It's very interesting to see people's predisposition, how they're going to behave, what they're going to do, what type of personalities they may have. How well are they going to respond for different methods or type of coaching? And that's the reason I'm saying, even though I'm using holistic and 360 kind of overview around all of that, it's very important for me to know who I have in front of me and what type of personality and what type of language is the best suitable for that particular personality, in order for them to be open not only to hear me out, but also to take action and to also receive the most value. That's the reason when you look at and observe how coaches train today, I'm using this analogy in the group sports, for example. Even though we have overall sense of team, still coaches will slightly adjust their approach to each individual player as a result of being more aware of that they're dealing with the different personalities. And I think that's where truly success is, because we cannot look at one style fit it all, and it's truly not about me. I found if you truly love people, if you're passionate about people, you will find a way to not only connect, but they will also share things that really are the root cause of situation, obstacle, or a problem that they're experiencing.
So what would you consider to be the number one difference between either your coaching style, your coaching method, philosophy? What differentiates you from all the other coaches in the exact same field of expertise? So what's your differentiating factor? What's your competitive advantage to the other people doing the exact same thing?
High performance impact. If we're not making impact, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm taking also responsibility for me as a coach. I see a lot of people promising a lot of things, but then it boils down to it, even if the client is doing what it's supposed to do, is he going to make a transformation that is required and needed? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do as a coach? And for me, it's a high performance impact, the method that I created, because on the end of the day, it doesn't matter how great all of this looks like, but is it making difference? Is it impactful? And if it's not, why is even point of using it, right?
Is that subjective or is it measurable?
Is measurable as well. Is very measurable, and I also have created different modules and different steps and process and things that they can do it on their own virtually through the software system. So it is a beauty about that. Its combination depends again on the level of involvement, what exactly we're dealing with. Some of them might just require, one-on-one periodic sessions. Some of them may require combination of additional work that they need to do on their own and take a time and different pace, right? And then some of them also will need a combination of self-owned work in addition to work with one-on-one, typically hourly sessions. And as a result, look at on the different outputs. And then evaluate it. I'm very open to hear not only how they're progressing, but what they see, what I'm teaching them, how relevant that is, and is it going to be something that they wanted to continue to do? Because I always believe it's a two-way street, and we should not be afraid to not only hear the feedback, but also to adjust our game accordingly.
Yeah, excellent. So Izabela, we're just going to wrap up here. So for anyone watching us live or maybe watching the recording, how can they get in touch with you, or how can they get more information about how maybe you can help them in their business or their field of expertise?
Obviously, based on social media, my presence, they're more than welcome to go to my website, IzabelaLundberg.com. One of the things that I would like to offer for your audience and of those guys that were commenting and engaging, and the ones that will be based on information you'll be sharing through your channels, I wanted to offer to first 10 listeners a free copy of my ebook, as well as opportunity for them to learn more about my coaching model and what that looks like, so they can test drive, they can have a sample of that, and they can do that through freecoachingsession.com.
Excellent. What we'll do is I'll copy the links in the comment field, so in case anyone didn't get the actual get the link, we'll have it in the comment field for the free giveaway, which is the free book giveaway, as well as connecting with Izabela, her contact information, and to potentially get a free consulting session with Izabela to see if what she offers is something that could benefit you in your in your business or field of expertise. So Izabela, I want to thank you very much, and thank you for being on the show and sharing with us more about your life, your journey, more about your coaching practice. Like I mentioned, I'll post all the contact links in the comments field, and as well as when the video gets edited and put on YouTube and on the website, all of your contact information and all of the things that we talked about will be posted on there as well. And so everyone show Izabela some love by hitting that like button, love button, and make sure that you share this with all your friends and any associated business pages that you belong to. Izabela, it's been great having you on the show, and I look forward to catching up with you again real soon.
Thank you so much, John, for having me, and have a great day.
And everyone else, just stick around. I'll be back in just a second with closing remarks. Well, thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. Now, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take your business to the next level and want to get some coaching advice, why not apply to be a guest on today's show? Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create a life of our own, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our own desired outcome, which is generally freedom. Freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with others. Now, a great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Step one to reaching our freedom life is to realize that you can't do it alone. Working with a coach or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frame to get you from where you are to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the goal of helping each other move forward with their business. Now, the second step to creating the life you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. You know, the activities that get you the biggest return on your time invested, the ones that truly make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need, how to implement those systems, or even have the time to find out what is needed. Now, working with a coach or consultant that understands, uses, and specializes in systems that can streamline your operations can help save you time, aggravation, and make you a lot more money. Now, for example, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now, just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time, and the end result is you're a #1 best-selling author. You have enough content that's going to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. You have a successful podcast. Now, it's automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, and generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now, this is also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, to find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint, coaching program, or mastermind, then contact me via my website at johnamccabe.com or connect with me through my show's Facebook page. Now, again, thank you for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on discussing their business and accelerating their authority. So have yourself an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.